right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only Rob Schulte
Hey, hello.
from the Vanderpump Robs podcast.
Yes. I can't believe I'm back. You having me back. They like me. They really like me, David. And
They
here we
do
are.
like you. They do like you. And you know what? I like you, which is I'm not so sure I could say that about most, and not everybody says that about me. So
Hey,
there you
I
go.
know the feeling.
I have to say, I am so okay not being liked. I'm just, the alternative to me is just not the way to go. I
Well,
don't
you
want to
can't please
cause any
everyone, right?
problems. No, you
Yeah.
can't. You just can't. And
And
I don't know.
we
I
know
feel people that please everyone in what we do as podcasters are just not popular. I'm sorry. It's not a business. I'm sorry. I have to say it.
no. Uh well, here's the thing, you there's a lot of why we do what we do, and it should be for fun, right? Like that's like why you get into anything. And then if it becomes more of a job, sure, it comes with job like responsibilities, but you can't have it both ways. You can't say snarky comments and then expect people not to, well, they're not for me. I mean, I know I'm not for Jax. He's let me know that a handful of times in the DMs. And I never sought out to be Jax's friend, so I'm going to be just fine with all that.
Does he still come after you, Jax? Or is this
I think
recent
he,
or is it all in the past? I mean, I
it's
know
all
it's
in
a
the,
lot in the past, but that's
yeah, it's a
enough.
lot in the past, but I think now he's just been working on himself, which, you know what? Good for him. I mean, I am the least of his problems right now.
That's why I never understand when someone gets mad at me. I'm like, man, I'm like, me? Really? Like, I'm the least of your problems. You got a lot other things going on.
Yeah.
You know what I want to talk to you about before we get into Vanderpump? Because you are covering it on your Vanderpump Robs podcast. Southern Charm. It's a show that I like. Everyone says, when are you going to talk about Southern Charm? And I'm like, you know what? Let's do that today because you are
Yeah.
covering it on your podcast. I do watch it. Like, what do you think without me leading you in any way? Where are we? Is this a good season, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've had fun. That being said, the most recent episode, Off the Peep End, which I guess is episode 2 of this season, had a lot of very blah scenes. And I think that's kind of par for the course right now for a lot of Bravo. Like, they can't all be hits, but they really are like, let's start it off with a bang. Let's give a few phone calls where people talk to their parents and bore us out of our skulls, and then end with a bang. And we're still trying to find that secret sauce to make an entire episode enjoyable. But I guess that's kind of part of the fun. And to answer your question, I've enjoyed the first couple episodes of Southern Charm, and I think that we're going to get some revelations on some characters that, much like people in our Vanderpump world, it's easy to be skewed as an audience member if you're not looking at these people critically.
What does that mean?
Well, I think a lot of
Could you
people.
be any more cryptic?
Sorry. Okay.
It's
Well, we'll put it
okay.
this way. If you listen to the episodes, we're very straightforward about it. My co-host Kate and I. I think, or we think, a lot of people like Craig because he dates Paige, and the actions of Craig do not outweigh the coolness of Paige. And I know Paige is, not everyone's cup of tea either, but the fact is that, look, and we'll talk about James Kennedy soon enough, but just because someone is projecting a better lifestyle now doesn't always make up for past behavior. And it feels like Craig is he's got positive aspects to him, but really he's kind of a smug jerk who spreads COVID over the last couple of episodes. Like, he's legitimately sick and cooks food for Austin and invites him over. And then in the next scene, we see that Vanita is also sick. And it's like, yo, you're just getting people sick on this show because you're a person who thinks it's pollen.
So you think Craig's whole, like, I'm the grown up, I'm the one representing the relationship on the show now. I'm gonna change Craig is all listen, we have someone else that you just mentioned, Jax. Jax went on for years
Hmm.
about being changed. Now he was off TV for most of those years,
Sure,
but
sure.
I was a huge person who sat up here on a soapbox and said, no, Jax is my money was on Jax and Brittany. I have to be honest with you. I thought they were
Yeah.
gonna go the distance. And so, I mean, you think Craig is just not as reformed as he says.
I think that Craig has the potential to be a reformed good guy all the way around. I think he needs to be a little bit more left leaning and then he'll fully make the leap. But right now, I think he's in that part where he thinks he's fully healed or become a better, mature, more, strong guy in that way, but his actions are not speaking to that. Maybe give him a little bit more time, and I think he'll understand that he doesn't need to be as smug as he is.
I think he's pretty smug. Yeah. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
I think, I think like, look, I do think that, I mean, it's happened to me in my own podcast. Like, I do think that there is something about someone who becomes busier in life because of their business, and their business
Hmm.
truly is everything. So I can relate to Craig in that sense of like,
Hey, so can I. So can I.
right?
Like
Like
I get that. Yeah.
when it's like I haven't changed. I'm still the same person. I'm just choosing work over going out tonight with you. Now I understand that's not changing. That's just like I'm
Yeah.
happy to work 24 hours. And I mean,
I just
look
don't
at
think Craig is necessarily
that.
being able to look in the mirror quite yet, right? Like Shep's no spring chicken or good person. Austin's not really that great either. But like Shep, look, he is a spoiled kid who's had everything given to him. His family owns 90% of the state they live in. He's never had to deal with anything that money couldn't necessarily take away or lessen the burden of. So when he comes to like Craig and Shep or Craig and Austin and is like, hey, I hit rock bottom. I don't know what to do. So I just went to Costa Rica and did ayahuasca and like you guys ghosted me. Like, is that what we do as friends? He doesn't even know how to properly say I need help. And if Craig and Austin, I think were as close of friends as they say they are, or pretend to be with him on the show, they would understand that layer of Shep just not even having the ability to phrase the question appropriately. It doesn't make anyone look good, but like you have to understand spoiled brats just usually throw money at things. And when throwing money doesn't work, they are up shit creek.